One of our goals at the DeSoto Arts Council is to not just reach out to visual artists, which is what it typically has been as far as like painting and stuff like that. We have opened up to the community, and we've had some people respond who want to teach their hobby or their gift. We have jewelry making, cake decorating, cookie decorating, pottery, at least 2 to 3 classes every month.
Each day at Wesley Meadows is a new opportunity to serve older adults and reimagine retirement living. It is the heart of their mission that inspires their team to provide the kind of fun atmosphere and care residents would want for themselves. Experience the warm spirit and faith-based difference of Wesley Meadows. Call 662-429-2070 and schedule your visit today. Hello and welcome to The Real Hernando, presented to you by Wesley Meadows Retirement Community and SRP Studios. This podcast spotlights Hernando's organizations and community leaders by sharing their stories and what led them to serve the community. The Real Hernando is currently seeking new business sponsors to partner with, which will support the growth of this platform, and in doing so, will create a brighter spotlight for the Hernando community as a whole. To learn more about sponsoring, click the How to Sponsor link in the description. And you can follow us at therealhernando.com for all channels and social media platforms. I am your host, Derek. Today we're spotlighting the DeSoto Arts Council. And my guests are Executive Director Kyli Collins and new President, which this is what we're talking about today, Mr. Jerrett Mashaw. Is that how you say? Mashaw. I probably should have asked that before we started recording. It only took us 12 minutes to get going today. So before we get involved here, let's talk about the Art Council a little bit. The DeSoto Arts Council is the arts agency for DeSoto County and the surrounding region, with a mission to stimulate increased participation in the arts, integrate art into people's everyday lives, advance community support of the arts, and use the arts to affect community unity and change. For more information on how to become a member, how to volunteer, upcoming events, and classes, visit DeSotoArtsCouncil.com. Jarret, Kyli, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Awesome to have you. I'm looking forward to this. We've been trying to schedule this for a hot minute, and we made it happen. So thanks for being here. And this is actually a repeat for Kyli. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put your link in the description. So Kyli Collins was on this podcast last year, probably over a year ago, before I even had a studio. So we had to record in the art gallery. So please check that out if you want to get more history on your executive director, Kyli, and the Art Council as a whole. Go check that out. But today, one of the main things we're talking about is you, Jarret. So congratulations. You are the new president, correct?
Correct. I was the only one to raise my hand.
I know. Now that I'm on the chamber board, I sense that sometimes it's just like, all right, who's up next? Okay. You know, like our committee leaders, you know, we had to assign some, all right, you need to be this committee leader. But anyway, so congratulations and thanks for stepping up.
Oh, no problem.
So is it active now?
Yes, active as of a couple weeks ago.
Awesome. Well, cool. And are you excited about this, Kyli?
Yes.
But awesome. So you had been a board member for how long?
I was a board member for right around 2 years.
Okay. And do you have like task force or like committees? Like we have promotion and organization and economic vitality. Do you have that as well on your board?
We call them divisional directors of whatever their task is. And
Okay.
Jarret was divisional director of volunteering.
Yeah, prior to this, I was in charge of getting volunteers for our events that we needed volunteers for.
Okay. So much like the Art Council Festival and Back Porch, and we'll get into more of these events that you guys do annually and upcoming. But I'm interested, what motivated you to join the Art Council at the very beginning as a board member?
Well, I kind of took the long way around to becoming a board member. It wasn't, I wanted to become a board member of the Arts Council. I wanted to serve the community that I lived in, and I'm raising my child and my family. So I ran for alderman 2 years ago.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I lost to a very seasoned veteran. But through needing to meet people to try to get people to vote for me and to get to know me, I started going to the Back Porch Parties. It's an event we show first Friday of every month until October. So I started going to those, you know, hugging, kissing babies, all that kind of thing that politicians do. And I just kept on coming. And so I lost the election, and I still wanted to figure out how to serve the community that I love, and I'm raising my family. Mm-hmm. So I just kept on coming. And then one of the board members asked me if I'd like, because I just kept on showing up, asked me if I wanted to be on the board. And I said yes. I filled out the application. They accepted me. And then after 2 years, the president position came open, and I decided I'd like to do that.
That's awesome. You know, my story is similar. If you just show up, you know, if you want to help, just show up. And same thing for me. That's how I landed on the chamber board. I just showed up to ribbon cuttings, just participated, and then they approached me. I was like, I'm all in. You know, so good for you. That's really great. Do you plan on running again for alderman down the road? Or?
I do, yes.
Awesome. I'm going to ask you after the mics are off who you ran against. I'm interested to know.
Okay.
But well, good deal. What has it been like for you since joining? What's this first couple of years been like for you?
It's been great. I learned about a whole new community that I didn't even know about. We have the gallery. It's a good place to go get unique gifts for your family. It's not like something you're going to find in a regular shop. Mm-hmm. So Mother's Day, Christmas, I go to the gallery and pick something out for my wife and my mother. My daughter loves the unique stuff we have in there. Every time I go in there, I pretty much bring something home for her. Mm-hmm. So
because art, and we talked about this, Kyli, art is more than just a painting. You have wicker baskets and all kinds of different things. Mm-hmm. that are all local artists, right? And then all for sale. So that's awesome. It's a great way to patronize and support the chamber. I mean, I'm sorry, not the chamber, the council by patronizing the store. And it's a neat store too. Mm-hmm. It's the old city hall. The old jail cell is still downstairs. And it's exciting. So let's go to you, Kyli. You know, what's it been like for the last couple of years working with this guy over here?
It's been wonderful. Jarret is, he's always, you know, I can always count on him to be there at all the events and be present and show up and help wherever he can. Yeah. So it's been wonderful. He's a perfect candidate for president of the Arts Council.
That's awesome. So did you started getting more involved outside of just the back porch? You just started
I started going volunteering. Obviously, I was in charge of all the volunteers, and trying to get people to work for free is not that easy. Yeah. So a lot of times it turned out maybe just me and a couple other people, mm-hmm. or students that needed some credit for their schoolwork.
Well, there you go. So, and this is for stuff like setting up for the festival?
Setting up, taking down, lifting heavy things, anything like that.
Yeah. You don't make Kyli do the heavy lifting?
Sometimes.
Luckily, she has her husband that she makes do all the heavy working, so.
He's voluntold to help out.
Voluntold, I like that. Yeah. I'm going to bring that up to my daughter. I'm volatelling you. But so now let's get a little more current with this summer coming up. You know, as people are watching this on Publish Day, there's a little bit of July left, and then through the rest of the year. So. What are some of the events coming up? I know we have Back Porch. We got on August 4th. It's the first Friday of each month, right?
The first Friday of every month, May mm-hmm. through October. Gotcha.
So we got 3 as you're listening to this ahead. So we got August 4th, Smoking Section. Mm-hmm. That's the band name. Just so you know, it's not an area of the back porch.
The bass guitarist for that was actually played the bass guitar for Jerry Lee Lewis.
Nice.
So
nice.
It'll be something to hear.
I'll be popping in. September 1st, Truck Patch Revival. Yes. Very popular name and band around here. And then October 6th, Mississippi Greystone. So let's talk Back Porch. When did this thing start, and what's the genesis of the Back Porch event?
It's kind of went through a change over the years. It started out as what was called an art walk, and people would get together and go through the different boutiques and stuff and do an art walk through there. And then they kind of centralized it to just being held at the Arts Council. It's the first Friday of every month, May through October, from 7 to 9. We always have live performing entertainment. We have food. We have a cash bar.
Yep.
You don't have to be a member to attend. It's kid friendly. It's just open for anyone who is looking for something to do on the first Friday of the month on a Friday night. Come out and see what we're all about. It's the opening of an art gallery. Just depending on the month, it depends on what the art gallery is going to be that month. In August, the art gallery is going to be photography and digital art, and we'll have some artists from DeSoto County. It's always local artists that we're going to highlight during that. Then September is going to be a 3D art show, and for our 3D art show, we focus on like woodworking.
Okay.
So it's going to have a lot of woodworking, and then we also have some visual artists who will have paintings on the wall. And then October is our high school art contest, and we allow those students, public, private, homeschool in DeSoto County, to submit art for a competition, and we team up with the Optimist Club of Hernando. They sponsor that, and we provide awards, and their art is displayed for the entire month.
That's great. Getting the youth involved. Everyone can get behind that.
It's one of our biggest things we're trying to do.
As we record this, timeline is off with podcasting, but we right now, as we record this, we're spotlighting Joseph Quinley, the Hernando band director, and man, people are loving it. It really gets a lot of reach and reaction because it's the school and Hernando's band. Everyone knows the band, so
amazing. Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome getting those involved. And the event as a whole is very relaxed and laid back. Good acoustic music on the porch right there. It's literally on the back porch. A good food spread and tables out in the little parking lot in the back. It's a great atmosphere. It's really nice, and I've always enjoyed visiting. So I enjoy them, and hopefully they're going to be around for a long time. But maybe the president has something to do with that. So come on,
Hope so.
Jarret, let's keep them going,
We're trying to grow it. And like Kyli said, it's open to everybody. It's not, you do not have to be a member. We want to reach everyone from all areas of the community and DeSoto County. We want people from South Haven. We want people from Olive Branch. We're called the DeSoto Arts Council. It's not just the Hernando Arts Council. And we're starting to bring back in. For a while, South Haven and Olive Branch separated, and they're coming back in. So we want to keep that momentum we're building with joining our community and get them back involved. So we want them to know that they're also welcome every first Friday of every month from May to October. It's a great event. She does a wonderful job of planning the music. She cooks for everything. It's amazing food.
Oh, you're the one cooking that?
Yeah, typically I am.
Yeah.
Really?
We do get a couple different people. A couple of our members. One, we've done barbecue.
Yeah.
Just depends on what it is. But majority of the time it's Kyli, and the food's awesome.
Who made the cake pops at the last one?
That was Shelly Adams. She owns Sweet Artistry in South Haven. She's wonderful. She helps out a lot, and she typically does donate a sweet item for our Back Porch Party.
Okay, yeah, they're really good. I mean,
really
put
good.
the Starbucks cake pops to shame for sure.
She's awesome.
And of course, ultimately, go to the gallery, and you got local artists in there trying to make a living too. And it's hard for artists to sell their paintings and have that opportunity. So it's a great way to support local arts, which is important. You want to talk about classes?
Yep.
So I'll pitch it to both of you. You guys rock, paper, scissors. We'll start with the classes.
She's in charge of the hard questions.
The hard ones.
Okay. One of our goals at the DeSoto Arts Council is to not just reach out to visual artists, which is what it typically has been as far as like painting and stuff like that. We have opened up to the community, and we've had some people respond who want to teach their hobby or their gift to the public. And so the DeSoto Arts Council teams up with individual artists, and they offer classes. We have jewelry making, cake decorating, cookie decorating, pottery, and there's just, the list goes on and on. It's very random at what we may offer, but we have at least 2 to 3 classes every month.
Okay.
And they vary. We have a pottery class by Jennifer Ziegler, who's a Hernandoan.
I know
guess
Jennifer.
That's how you say it.
Easy Realty. Shout out.
She teaches our pottery class that's typically on Thursday nights, and she does them monthly. You purchase a session. It's 4 sessions, and in that you create 3 pieces of pottery. On the 4th time, you glaze your pottery, and then she fires it, and you have 3 completed pieces of pottery that you made.
That sounds fun.
And then the other thing, there's just, there's a never-ending list. And if somebody's interested in teaching a class that has anything to do with the arts, we would be happy to have them.
Go to the website and sign up for a class?
Go to the website. On that website is my email address. It's dak.desotoarts@gmail.com, and that's the best way to get into contact with us, and we can have a discussion about it.
Have you guys partook in any of the art classes?
I haven't, but possibly if we do the cake pop, I might be in.
Oh, yeah.
My daughter loves cake pops.
Yeah, they're great, and I'll be there to test them.
Okay.
For sure.
I actually taught one of the classes, the cake decorating class,
cool.
first time. But
I forgot, that's right. You do that on the side, don't you?
Well, I don't do it on the side anymore. I used to, but I taught the first class. It went really well, and it was just, I was like, Shelly, who made the cake pops, I was like, you're going to have to come do this for me. There's an interest. People want to do this, but it's time consuming.
It's a lot of work,
Yeah,
for
it's a
sure.
lot of work into it, because every participant gets a full cake that they, all the behind the scenes work for that. So Shelly Adams, who you love her cake pop, she's the one that does the cake class now.
All right. Well, hopefully they're there in July. So, and when me and you, Kylie, and I were texting the other day, talking about some things we could bring up, and you mentioned street post signs.
Yes.
What's going on with that? What is that? Tell me about that.
We are currently working on a project in Hernando. All the old street signs, those small white, they're called obelisk street signs. They come up like a pyramid. They had gotten to the point where they'd been weathered. You weren't able to read them. So the city reached out to us and asked if we could find an artist to repaint the names on the street signs so that people could read them. And one of our board members, Suzanne Cox, took up that job, and she's been working really hard to complete those. There's 60 street posts, and she has,
There's 4 sides.
There's 4 sides.
Oh my goodness!
And she's hand
So
lettering.
that's 240 sides.
Yeah, she's
By hand.
Yeah.
by hand. She's hand lettering.
All by
them.
herself. She has a little committee. No,
It's her.
Okay.
And the reason behind that is lettering is so hard to keep consistent, even within an individual, and if you go into adding 3 or 4 different people, it's all going to look different, and we wanted it to look uniform. So Suzanne, she's doing a wonderful job. By the time this airs, she probably should have them completed.
Is there a map where to find all these
There
signs?
are.
Yeah, that's cool.
What's her name? Natalie Lynch went around and found all the street signs, and because the ones that are wood, there's some wooden ones that they've put out there, and they're actually going to replace those with the black metal signs because they just don't last. But the concrete signs that are still there are the ones that are being painted.
Awesome.
And Natalie went through and mapped all of them and made sure we were putting the right street names on them.
She's one of our older women.
Yes.
Correct? Yeah. So
I did not run against her.
okay. I wasn't going to ask until the mics were off. Well, that's awesome. That's definitely a daunting task. Oh my God.
Absolutely.
When did she start?
She started at the beginning or the end of May. We actually had a company come in and paint and sand down all the posts to make them white and to make them as smooth as possible so there wasn't chips of paint. And she started, and she just does a little bit every day. until they're all done.
God bless her. Well, that's awesome.
In the heat of Mississippi summers.
Oof, yeah, no doubt.
Gustafson Properties. Gustafson Properties has been building beautiful custom homes in DeSoto County and surrounding areas for over 20 years. Are you ready to build your new custom home? Call us today at 662-449-6271.
5M Services, your comfort specialists. We offer heating, ventilating, and air conditioning service. Call us for any of your HVAC needs. 662-560-7331. We are here for you 24/7.
Team Couch of Birch Realty Group is a full-service team of realtors specializing in real estate sales. With over 900 transactions alone in the past 5 years, their experience is your best asset. Go to teamcouch.com or call 662-449-1700.
Let's talk about this new event y'all are starting, or you're taking over. You've inherited, if you will, the Hometown Headliners. So for anyone that doesn't know, it's the September version of the Sunset on the Square. It is September, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Sunset on the Square has been around for a while. It's every June, every Thursday of June. Live music in front of the courthouse on the lawn. And it's great, and it's a very laid back atmosphere. The first one we had this year was over 1,200 people. So it's fun, great vendors, good times for kids, everything. Well, a few years ago, the chamber started another one called Hometown Headliners. And I was part of the vote to hand it off to you guys. And it was a way for us to unload so we can work on some different things and let another organization, partake and be in the mix. And I'm glad you all agreed I'm glad you guys have it now. So you're officially in charge.
Yes.
You're inheriting the bands that we booked.
Yes.
The bands are grandfathered.
Yeah, they're grandfathered in.
Congratulations, and let's talk about that, because would this be outside of the festival, probably one of the bigger events that you're taking on?
We have 2 vendor markets throughout the year, and then this would probably be the third biggest, largest event that we have, and it'll be every Thursday in September. Mm-hmm. We're going to mimic what the Chamber of Commerce did as much as possible. And we're really excited about it. Everything that we do, we look at it because we have people come to us all the time wanting us to participate in things. And we look as to, does this really fulfill our mission as the DeSoto Arts Council? Does it fit in? Does it do what we're trying to do with the community? Mm-hmm. And Hometown Headliners absolutely fit it right in with our mission. And we are so excited to be given this opportunity to take over this event.
Music as a whole connects people, but it's also an art.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And going back to the Back Porch, you're letting a band express their art, because a lot of them are bringing original material. They're playing songs they wrote. Hometown Headliners, Sunset on the Square, it's definitely cover bands, but still, musicianship is artistry. So there's definitely that connection, and I'm excited to now patronize Hometown Headliners for you. And again, I know how the chamber does it. Well, the chamber has a table where you can purchase T-shirts, cups, all the different swag, if you will, which also will automatically help the Art Council. So come patronize that as well. People bring coolers and tumblers and choice liquids that they put in there, and kids, and they're running around. It's a good time. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure you guys are excited about it.
We are. We're also working on having some unique food vendors there.
Okay.
Something that's not typically something you could get all the time.
Cake pops?
Possibly.
All right. Let's bring the cake pops in. So how do you, were you part of the talk about that
I was
on the
part
board?
of this decision process. She came to me and we spoke about it, and then we presented it to the board, and we had 2 options. Hometown Headliners was one of them, and then there was another option, and we decided that for the first year we'd just take the Hometown Headliners, and like she said, since y'all did half of our work and booked all the bands.
You're welcome.
Thank you. We decided to put our focus into the food trucks since we know that's a big topic in Hernando right now. It's being discussed at the
That's right.
at
There's
the alderman meetings, and
the law is going to be loosened a little.
yeah,
Is
it's
that
gonna
what's
be
happening?
loosened. I think they're coming up with like possibly a park
Awesome.
where they're all going to be located at, but we don't need to worry about that.
Yeah.
We'll have a spot right on the square, and like she said, we're going to have something that you can't get at every event. Something that everyone's going to like, and
Differentiate yourself. Yeah, and you're going to be waving your flag in front of thousands. So by the end of the month, I mean, thousands of people are going to be there. It's a really awesome event.
yeah, we're excited about it.
And it's very generous of the courthouse and the county to let us do it.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, and, you know, I know when we, as a chamber, we all sign up. Who's going to help with the table? Who's going to help with this, that? And it's definitely important to clean up after. You know, and I will say this, like when we clean up after a show, I mean, pretty much everyone's super respectful. It's not trashed, you know, so that's awesome too. Everyone gets it. Everyone's there for that same reason, and I'm looking forward to that. Let's talk about anything else. Actually, I was curious, how many members are on your board? Like, how big is your board?
We have 15 active members on
big
our board,
board.
so it's a pretty big board. But they all are super helpful in their own little entity, and I'm fortunate to have the board that I do.
And now a new president. So, what do you see the future as? What is it that some things that you would like to work on? Your vision moving forward. You know, how, as your role as president, do you see things going in the future?
Like I said, we want to reach out to the whole entire DeSoto County and bring them in. It's the DeSoto Arts Council. We want to welcome them in and back, and we want to reach out. The former president had a pretty good saying. He said he wanted to go across the railroad tracks because it was his belief that the only people that came here were the people that were located close to the Arts Council. So we want to reach out to all members of our community here in Hernando too, on the other side of the railroad tracks, and bring them in too, because we need members to grow. Obviously, we're a 501c. So we need volunteers, members to help us stay alive, and also it's a great organization. Like I said, we do unique things, like have the Back Porch Party, and we had 2 times this year. Was it 3 blind wines? That's an event where you bring your own wine, and they're covered with a paper sack, and then the best wine wins, and then the winner gets to bring home all the wine. Is that how it goes?
Nice.
So they're stocked up for wine for a while, and we did that twice this year
And where does that take place?
at the
The Arts
gallery.
Council.
Right in the gallery. Cool. What was the turnout like? How did it go?
It's in teams. It's a game that you play, and you purchase tickets to play the game. And we had 15 and 16 teams each time, because we had one in the fall and then one in the spring. So our next one will be in the spring again. I don't think we're going to do a second one in the fall.
You said 15 teams?
15 teams, so 30 people
But 15
participating.
There's the 1 bottle per team?
Each individual team purchases 3 bottles of wine. 2 of the bottles of wine are used for the tasting. So you're able to taste all the different wines that people bring. And then at the end of the night, they vote for which wine was their favorite. They can't cheat and vote for their own because they're all covered.
Yeah.
So you don't know what wine is what. And it's actually pretty humorous to hear people discuss, and they bring their wine in, and that's the one they think is the best, and then when they're voting, they're like, "Oh, that's horrible."
And it's
They'll be like,
theirs.
It's theirs. And I'm just giggling because I'm the only one who knows what wine is what. And so at the end of the night, we have little chips, and whoever gets the most votes gets to take home that bottle of wine, the 3rd bottle of wine that's left over from the tasting and what everybody's brought.
So they're not taking home all the wine. 'Cause
No,
that
they're
would be a
taking-
massive amount of wine.
However many teams there are, they're taking home 1 bottle of wine from each team.
I hate Pepsi. but I'm afraid to take a test because I'd probably end up being like, oh, that's delicious. And then it's Pepsi. Like, oh, man. So sometimes it's in the mind, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, so let's talk about the art festival. Now, that's already passed by now, and that is in line with the opening of the farmers market.
It is, and Earth Day, the county Earth Day.
It's a big day. I mean, they closed the square down for that one. And so what's the date on that if we're looking ahead to next year?
Not right. It's usually Earth Day. It's usually in April.
Every day's Earth Day, right? But so it's April, right?
April.
Okay, yeah,
It usually falls in April, mid-April. It's the second or third week, and we just have local vendors. They submit applications to us, and as long as it's homemade, something not wholesale, that's something that we don't really allow in our vendor markets. We want it to maintain its integrity of being the Arts Council and homemade and something, local. So as long as it follows those guidelines, we'll allow them to be in there. And last year we had the gravel parking lot that's next to the DeSoto Arts Council. Tina Martin, who owns that, was generous enough to let us use that for the Arts Festival.
Yep.
And we also, thanks to the city, we're allowed to use Memphis Street.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
We were able to expand, and we hope that next year it's even bigger and there's more vendors who want to participate. And whenever we have a vendor market, we genuinely care that our vendors are successful, and we do whatever we can to make sure that they are.
Yeah, it's great to give them that platform. So next year will be your first as president, right? Mm-hmm. So how involved is the president and the board in general on the festival?
She can go.
The board and the president, it's pretty much like all hands on deck. Like they just all jump in and do whatever needs to be done.
And this is huge for needing volunteers, right?
Right, it is. Jarret, Derek, and Randy are the men that are on our board. The rest of them are women, so they typically get the setting up of tents, setting up of tables, setting up chairs, and kind of the more manual labor, whereas some of the ladies, we actually have a divisional director of festivals, and Krista Barnhart and Abby McCreary, and they kind of help with the behind-the-scenes planning and logistics of the actual event. Yeah,
They organize, and we do all the heavy lifting.
Yeah, the stacking and the lifting and the moving. But it's epic. It's huge. There's so many awesome booths of all kinds of different art and different people. And it's just, I think it's special to give them a place. Because farmers markets are hugely important too. It's great for our local agriculture and our local business. But it seems like art can easily be kind of forgotten about. Mm-hmm. It's all business or, science, or, just like that's kind of our daily life. But without art, there's no balance, right? Right. So that's awesome. Now, earlier when we were talking about hometown headliners, and I asked, it's probably one of the bigger ones you have now. You mentioned that you have a festival, but another one. So what's the third good size event that you're doing?
It's probably even bigger than the DeSoto Arts Festival. Okay. It's called the Red Door Market, and it's our holiday market event. Typically, we've held it at the Armory. We also have food vendors there. Nick's Fried Pies always participates. I know he's real popular with the lemonade and the farmers market, but he's always there. And
yes, I'm aware of him.
Now he does at the last Red Door. He does chili and barbecue nachos, and he will tell you about it.
He's amazing.
If you stop by and talk to him, he'll tell you about it.
His lemonade's great.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a line across the lawn for him. So if his cooking's anything like his lemonade, I'm sure.
It was pretty good. The chili was pretty good.
Awesome.
He is a loyal patron of the Red Door Market. He's always going to be there. And then we also have local vendors. A lot of them participate annually. I actually had some call me and they're like, what date is it? It's either going to be the first or second weekend in December. We haven't nailed that down with the Armory yet, but it's one of the 2 weekends in December, and the vendors will call and be like, what weekend are you doing it? Because we want to make sure we're there. We don't want to miss it. Mm-hmm. So it's something that the vendors really look forward to, as well as the general public. It's a 2-day event. It's a Saturday and Sunday. And it's great. Yeah. I mean, it's just indoor, great way to do your Christmas shopping, get something that's truly unique. Every vendor has to fill out an application and be accepted. We don't accept wholesale items. And it has to be something that they made. And it's a great environment, a lot of fun. Last year we had Santa and the Grinch there to take pictures with kids.
You got to balance it, right?
Yeah. And then, it's a lot of fun. The night before, in the past, we've had the preview party. Becky Beard, who lives in Hernando, has been generous enough to offer up her home in the past to have this preview party. It's a ticketed event. And you're able to go in and see all the items that the vendors will have at the market the following 2 days.
That's you got to check that out this year.
Drinks and hors d'oeuvres are there. Yep, it's a nice event.
So talking about all these amazing events and everything we do for the community, being a nonprofit, clearly there needs to be support, and memberships don't cover everything. So let's talk about getting sponsors and businesses that want to get involved. And the need for it. How would a business go about, supporting through sponsorships?
If a business wants to sponsor a particular event, we are open arms to that, or if there's they just want to sponsor the DeSoto Arts Council in general, there's a platform on our website for them to go do that, or they can always drop by the DeSoto Arts Council and see me. I'm typically there. One of our volunteers is there, and then also my email address that's listed on the website is also a good way to contact about that, and we can just discuss what they're interested in doing as far as sponsorship. But
and on an individual level, the membership, it's affordable. What is it now? I don't know if it's changed since I joined.
We have a variety of membership options. We have a student option that is $25 annually. We have a participating artist option that is $35 annually, and those, if you join at that level, you're able to put your art in our gift shop and then sell. It's sold on a commission basis, and then we have an individual membership, someone who may not specifically be an artist but just wants to help with the DeSoto Arts Council. An individual is $40. A family membership is $60, and that is a couple, kids, all that's included. And with the general membership, the $40 and $60, you get discounts. Like we have every year we have a summer kids camp for ages 5 to 13, and you get a significant discount on that tuition for the camp. So it does have its perks with getting a membership. We also have some benefactor memberships, some donor memberships, philanthropist, all those different kinds of things, just depending on what level they're interested in.
It's so affordable, and it's hugely helpful. So hopefully, again, what's the website again? It's what's the website again? I don't have it in front of me.
www.DeSotoArtsCouncil.com.
I promise I'm a professional, everybody.
Also,
like I said, it took us 12 minutes to get started.
One thing for the donations, also, we are not gold diggers, but if you do pass and you want to leave us the DeSoto Arts Council in your will, you can leave us in your will, and we have an account set up for that. And also, what people have done in the past, if they didn't want flowers, if they didn't want flowers at their funeral, they'd say, in lieu of flowers, donate to the DeSoto Arts Council.
Oh, that's amazing.
That kind of thing, too.
I've never heard of anything like that. It's great. So, all right. So anyone that knows that's a weird one to push.
Yeah.
That's a weird one to push, isn't it?
Just saying.
That's interesting,
I
but
figured I'd put it out there.
But we don't want anyone dying.
Yeah.
But if you know someone,
It's an option.
If you're looking for an organization to support.
Yes.
well, that's pretty cool. That's great, and I'm sure there's a lot of supporters out there that would want to do that. So
Yeah, we'd appreciate it.
yeah, that's great. Well, in closing here, before I wrap this up, is there anything, Jarret, as the new president, is there anything like you would like to add? Anything we're missing, or anything you'd like to add to this?
No, I think we covered it all. Just come out and see us. Come by, see the gallery. Come to our Back Porch Party. That's how I got introduced to it, and I'm here 2.5 years later. So just come check us out.
The next one is August 4th in the Back Porch. The band is Smoking Section, and good food and drink.
Easy. First Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just for reference, because some people don't know where the DeSoto Arts Council is, it is 2465 Highway 51 South, and it is just 1 mile north of the square. It's a little white building that has City Hall written on the front.
Yeah. Yep. It used to be the old jailhouse too,
Yeah.
right? It's a cool building. When you walk in, it's just history in that building. The foundation of it, the walls in it. It's really nice. So.
Just to say, we appreciate the city. The city leases us that building for right now for $1 a year. So
Wow,
we appreciate
that's
the
awesome.
city. We appreciate the city immensely for doing that for us.
That's awesome, and that's community, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's major support, and thank you to the city too, because I enjoy arts. I think it's important. I've been a musician for 30 years, and it's critical to have art in life too. So, well, before I say goodbye, let's close this thing out by addressing the audience. We got some things to talk about here. So, if you want to, I want to thank our sponsors. Let's talk about that. Our title is Wesley Meadows Retirement Community. Plus, we have a list of sponsors, and I want to thank you all, because with your support, this platform exists and can shine a light on organizations like the DeSoto Arts Council. So it's full circle. It benefits everyone. So thank you for that. But we're also looking for more. So if you're interested, there's a how-to sponsor link in the description. Click into that. It's just a simple form. In essence, giving me your contact information to get in touch with you. You're not agreeing to anything. Go to therealhernando.com. You can find all our socials and channels, but specifically our Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok are all at The Real Hernando. And we're on YouTube and all the major audio platforms like Apple, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Jerrett, Kyli, thanks for being here today, and I had a good time with y'all, and hopefully we can get some people at the back porch here. And what is it again?
August the 4th.
August the 4th. Thanks.
First Friday.
First Friday, everybody. Be there. All right, thanks. Have a good day, everybody.